What if I told you the biggest thing holding you back isn't your schedule, it's not your talent, it's an enemy living right inside your own head? Well, today we're going to talk about a pretty radical way to shut down that internal resistance, to finally win that war and make your brain work for you, not against you. Okay, I know what you're thinking. My brain is not my friend? That sounds intense. But listen, it's the key idea we have to get our heads around. When it comes to doing hard stuff, your brain isn't your cheerleader. Its job is to protect you, which means its default setting is to keep you soft, scared, and comfortable. And that right there, that's the absolute enemy of growth. So, if we're going to win this fight, we first have to understand the enemy, right? Let's dive into exactly how your brain is playing tricks on you, keeping you from what you really want. And really, it all boils down to this fundamental conflict. Your brain, I'm talking about that ancient primal part of it, is wired for one thing: survival. That means its main goals are comfort and avoiding anything that feels hard or painful. But your goals, getting that promotion, hitting the gym, building that business, they all require the exact opposite. They demand you walk right into the fire of discomfort. So how does your brain fight back? It uses a voice. And you know exactly the voice I'm talking about, don't you? It's that little whisper in your head that says, just rest today, or the classic, you can start tomorrow. That voice has one job: keep you planted firmly in your comfort zone, to always, always take the easy way out. And what happens when you listen to that voice day in and day out? You become a watcher. You're the person with all the dreams, but you never actually make a move. You end up being a slave to your own mind's most basic, primitive programming, and you never even get close to what you're truly capable of.
All right, so that's the problem. So what do we do about it? Well, the solution isn't about trying to find more motivation. Forget that. This is about a complete 180-degree shift in how you think.
And this right here, this is the secret. See, most of us spend our entire lives running away from pain, from discomfort. But the real game changer? It's when you stop running, and instead you completely change the definition of what pain even means to you. So here's the new definition. Pain is not the bad guy here. Pain is the price. It's the currency you pay to buy growth. It's the cost of entry for power and for strength. The second you start looking at it like a simple transaction, man, everything changes. So here's the super simple, actionable trick. The second, the instant that voice in your head says, ugh, I don't feel like it, you don't fight it, you don't try to argue with it, you just have one response: good. Because that feeling of resistance, it's not a stop sign anymore. It's the green light. It's your new trigger to go, now. This becomes your new rule for life. You stop chasing comfort. You do the opposite. You actively hunt for resistance because you now know that's exactly where the good stuff, the growth, is hiding. All right, so how do we actually put this into practice? A new mindset is awesome, but to win that fight in the moment, when you're tired and feel like quitting, you need a battle plan, a tactical protocol. And why do you need a protocol? Because your real enemy in that moment is hesitation. Every single second you wait and think about it, you're giving that resistance voice an opening to talk you out of it. That tiny little window of doubt, that's all your brain needs to win. If you want to change, you have to be fast. And this is your new weapon. 3. Just 3 seconds. That's it. That is the entire window you get to make your move before your brain slams the door shut and drags you back to the couch. We're calling it the 3-second kill switch. Here's how it works, and it's ridiculously simple. The alarm clock goes off, and you do not want to get out of bed. You don't think, you don't debate, you just immediately start counting down in your head. 3, 2, 1. And when you hit 1, you move. You physically throw the covers off, no thinking, just pure physical action. And why does this work so well? Because physical action is like a short circuit for that internal chatter. You literally can't overthink it if your body is already in motion. You're killing the resistance before it can even get a word in. Okay, so to make this whole thing stick, to make it permanent, you have to adopt what we call daily war mode. Look, this isn't about one giant heroic effort. It's a daily ritual. It's about intentionally choosing discomfort every single day to train your brain and remind it who's actually in charge here. And we're not talking about climbing Mount Everest here. These are small daily acts of war, taking that cold shower, forcing yourself to do 100 push-ups when you'd rather do 0, waking up before the sun comes up. Every single one of these is a small win. It's a little battle you won against weakness, and it slowly teaches your brain to just give in, to obey. But look, all these little daily fights, they're all leading somewhere bigger. This isn't just about taking more things off your to-do list. The real point here is to forge a brand new identity. Think about it like this. Most people wait until they feel motivated to do something. That's completely backwards. A warrior doesn't wait to feel a certain way. They decide, I am a disciplined person, and then they simply act like it. The feelings don't even enter the equation. And it's so important to get this. This goes so much deeper than some life hack you see online. This isn't about color-coding your calendar. By doing these hard things over and over, you are literally rewiring who you are at a core level. You're transforming from someone who runs from pain into someone who actually looks for it because you know that's where the growth is. In the end, the task itself almost doesn't matter. The goal isn't just to finish the project. The real goal, the ultimate prize, is to become the machine, to become the kind of person who just executes. No hesitation, the person who thrives when things get tough and does the hard thing every single time. So it all comes down to one question for you. You've been listening to that weak, comfortable voice for a long, long time. That version of you, the watcher, the dreamer who never does anything, the slave to its own brain, are you going to let that person die today, starting right now?